And our first guest joins us via satellite from Springfield, Massachusetts, Mr. Stephen Aronstein. He's the CEO of Somatic Systems Incorporated, stock symbols SMAS. Stephen, welcome to the program.
Hi, Don. Thanks for having me.
Well, Stephen, now Somatic Systems describes itself as the worldwide center for something called Prime Somatics. It's a groundbreaking, drug-free, non-surgical treatment for pain relief. Can you give us a general overview of the company, please?
Absolutely. Somatic Systems is the center for Prime Somatics, as you said, which is also called clinical somatics, and it's a revolutionary form of pain care. We use proprietary techniques that very quickly improve pain in a variety of musculoskeletal problems that have not been helped by any other treatment, including physical therapy, surgery, drugs, and other medical procedures.
Now, Stephen, your system uses a combination of non-invasive movement techniques. I found that interesting. Tell us about that. Okay.
Well, Somatics uses hands-on techniques, much like going into a physical therapist or a chiropractor or a massage therapist. There's no drugs, there's no injections, and there's no surgery. And it works very differently than other methods. Rather than working on strengthening the weak or painful area, we actually retrain the nervous system to control the area properly. So rather than making the body stronger, we make it smarter. And in doing so, we get dramatically better results, both in terms of how quickly injuries get better, how long-lasting the cure, and also clients have tools they can use on their own to retrain their own body when they get into other injuries as well.
Well, Stephen, now the company recently announced the launch of an education program showcasing the success of your Somatics professional training program. Can you give us more details on that, please?
Well, the Somatics Professional Training Program is the way in which we train practitioners to do somatics. We have them work in our clinics. They can work on their own. They can work in rehabilitation hospitals. They can work in a variety of different settings, from a spa to a medical setting. And that professional training program, in a very short period of time, gives people a complete career retraining, and also stocks our clinics with practitioners and allows us to spread somatics to a wider audience.
Well, Steve, I mean, let's face it, when it comes to pain management, people and patients in general are really looking for alternatives to drugs, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Pain care is a $90+ billion industry a year. There are hundreds of billions of dollars lost in worker productivity, in medical bills, et cetera, et cetera. And very commonly, the biggest problem people face is not only that they're disabled, but then they become addicted to pain care medicines. So pain care is a very significant issue for the current era. In fact, the more our technology improves, the more chronic pain we seem to have. So while other illnesses are getting better, chronic pain is becoming an epidemic.
Well, Stephen, of course, no conversation about any sort of health care is complete without a discussion about health insurance. Are health insurance companies covering somatics treatments?
It's covered by some insurance policies. It's typically a case-by-case situation. There's still awareness that needs to be improved in the health insurance companies. Sometimes they think of it as an alternative medicine. In actuality, it's really a Western treatment that's just progressive and a little ahead of the curve relative to some other physical therapies and whatnot. So there is some insurance that covers it when they see how much money they can save by using somatics instead of other physical therapies. They jump at the chance to cover it. Also, we're working over the last year to get somatics covered by military health care insurance, the TRICARE healthcare system, which is an exciting development because as that goes through, and that's our big project this year, you will see coverage of over 70 million Americans who are covered by the TRICARE system. And so we feel that the other health insurance companies will be very eager to cover us once they see that the military is supporting this exciting system.
Our guest is Stephen Aronstein. He's the CEO of Somatic Systems Incorporated, stock symbols SMAS. If you'd like more information, free information in the mail, call us toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Now, Stephen, recently the company published a letter to shareholders where you outline a basic three-part growth strategy. Can you share some of the details of that with us?
Absolutely. That's really the basis of how the company works. What we have right off the bat is the best system for pain care out there. and the best system for really training people to perform athletically without injuries. But in addition to that, I think we have what's a very exciting business model, and that model consists of three components. First, keep in mind that Somatics is delivered in two forms. You can either get the hands-on work, like you might go to a physical therapist, or you can do exercises in your own home that replicate some of the benefits that you would achieve on the table with a practitioner. So our three-part system involves, number one, clinics, number two, self-care products, and number three, professional training. Our clinics are like going into Curves or a Starbucks or any other kind of corporate chain where you can get care across the country, except, of course, you'll get this unparalleled pain care treatment. Our products are self-help products to do the exercises in your own home, to buy on the web, to buy at retail stores. And the third piece of our model is to expand the training program so we can provide training to professionals all over the country. The training program is a high-revenue program for us, and it generates really exciting practitioners for this important healthcare field.
Well, Stephen, I'm glad you brought up revenues. My next question was about that. Let's talk about your revenue model. How do you create and sustain your revenues?
It's a good question. We basically do it along those three channels of the three-part business model. Clinics generate revenue through sessions with clients who come in the way they'd come in for a physical therapy session. They also generate retail sales in our retail space at each clinic. And they also generate revenue from classes, because just as you can do the exercises at home, you can do those exercises in group classes. So the clinics function much like a combination of a educational center, like going into an Apple store to learn more about Apple products, a clinic center, much like you would go into a Minute Clinic or a physical therapy chain, and they also function like a yoga studio or a Curves. Then we also generate revenue through our products that you can buy on the web or in stores to do in your own home. And the training program generates high tuition levels for a very good self-care or a very good career retraining program, which we're very proud of. And the three combined provide revenue for a whole variety of market conditions. So in some cases, for example, in this economy, things fare very well on the clinical side because people are in so much pain and suffering from health conditions, whereas they're not as focused on professional retraining. And in other situations, people are clamoring to the professional training. So we have a very flexible model that allows us to be successful in virtually any market condition.
Well, Steve, currently the company has certified somatics practitioners in several states here in the U.S. and also in Europe and the U.K. Tell us about your network.
Okay, thank you. The network is a series of practitioners we've trained over the last few years. We have practitioners widely spread out throughout the U.S., and then we have a few in England. You can visit any of them at their own locations. Some of them work for us in our clinics, and you can find any practitioner in any part of the world on our website at somatics.org, clicking on the practitioner link.
Once again, Somatic Systems, stock symbols SMAS. For more information, you can call us toll-free from anywhere in the world, 888-259-4449. Stephen, why is this a good time right now for folks to take a closer look at your company?
Well, I think it's an amazing time because we've spent 20 years perfecting this product. And just in the last couple of years, as a public company, we've been growing the business to make it a national phenomenon where you can visit a somatic center in every town. And after all those years of development, we have a product that's ready to launch and ready to expand. And the work we've done over the last couple of years has raised the profile of the Somatics product to the point where television shows are interested in us, there are books coming out about what we do, and additionally, exciting news such as the U.S. military being interested in our product. So we've been talking with military folks to see if they're interested in using Somatics as a pain care system because they haven't found any other system that works as well as this in terms of helping wounded people. So the profile for Somatics has never been higher. The cost to get in is quite good, and we're just on the horizon of some pretty exciting developments in terms of real national presence and expansion of clinics and real significant media presence.
Well, Steve, we're beginning coverage of your company, actually reinitiating, as we talked to you earlier in 2008. We'll be following your progress very closely over the next 3 months. Thanks for joining us on the show.
Thank you.